So paper six, classified alternative to practical. You will find the questions related to different topics in this classified paper six, and it is in sequence. Like the first part you will find from electrolysis, electricity, and chemistry. And before you start, you should go through all these points, like the name of the apparatus. This information you should go through all of them. Then how we can collect different types of gases, and what is a test for different gases. Sulfur dioxide, I did not add here. This was because I prepared this a year ago, 2 years ago. That's why sulfur dioxide is not added. But sulfur dioxide, you should also learn for that. Then test for the different ions. You don't have to memorize this now. In exam, it will be given to you. You just have to use it to identify a substance. And different compounds with different colors also, and the flame color. Our first topic is about electrochemistry. Electrochemistry means it is related to electrolysis. So once we finish, like we'll try to do a question every session. So once we solve any question, you have to send the picture out just after the exam, after the class. So when you solve, like during a session, you will solve with me and then send the pictures. You don't need to convert to PDF, just send the pictures directly to me on my WhatsApp. So silver chloride is an ionic compound and is insoluble in water. Molten silver chloride break down during electrolysis. The products are chlorine and a silver. Chlorine is a soluble and in water and it's toxic. Suggest using apparatus to show a student suggests using using the apparatus shown to break down silver chloride. Draw an arrow on the diagram where the heat must be supplied to break down. Where we should supply heat energy. Use a screen annotation. For a screen annotation, you can find an icon like a pen. So when you click on that, you can annotate on the screen. Where we should supply the heat energy. I expect the active participation from everyone, especially when we are doing paper six. Where we should supply the heat energy. Annotate on the screen. Use the screen annotation. So draw show an arrow. That's right. Good. So here we should supply heat energy from the bottom of this test tube so we can break down. The next part, complete the diagram to show how chlorine gas is collected. So how we should collect, how we can collect a chlorine gas, because it mentioned here it is soluble in water. So when it is soluble in water, we cannot collect over the water. So what we have to do, we have to connect a gas syringe here. So why a gas syringe? Because chlorine is water soluble, as they mention here. So we cannot pass through the water, otherwise it will dissolve. Give two observations that are made when silver chloride break down. Whenever you are doing electrolysis of the molten substance, what are the observation? Because chlorine is a gas, so there will be bubbles, and silver is a metal, so there will be a solid. So two observation, when you're doing the electrolysis for a molten substance, because a non-metal is there, so there will be bubbles or a gas, and when there's a metal is there, so there will be a shiny solid. So whenever molten compounds are electrolyzed, they always release bubbles and a solid will. Then the person is doing this experiment, followed all normal lab safety rules. State one additional safety precaution that students should take when doing this experiment. Give a reason of your answer. whenever any substance which is toxic, what we should do, we should carry out this experiment in a fume cupboard. So what is a fume cupboard? A cupboard is there which is having a ventilation opening is there at the top, and that ventilation is open to outside. So the toxic vapors can escape. So that part is not inside, that is outside, that is the exhaust. So what actually happens if a toxic gas is released, that gas can easily move out from the lab. So it will not remain in that. So what we should do, one additional safety precaution we should take when we are doing this experiment, we should use a fume cupboard. So fume cupboard is always used whenever there's a toxic. So what is the reason for that? The chlorine is toxic, or a gas release is toxic. Suggest one reason why zinc is not suitable material to use as electrode. Why we prefer to use graphite, platinum, not zinc? Because these are reactive metals. So what might happen if you use a zinc? Zinc might react. Yeah, you can say it is not inert, or you can also say it is reactive. So it's the same thing if you mention it is not inert, or you can say zinc is reactive. But don't write in short when you're writing the answer. Don't write the short form for the element like zinc, Zn. You should, I'm writing in short just to explain. But when you're writing an exam, you should use the full, write the full word, zinc. Then the chlorine was bubbled into a gaseous solution of a sodium salt. The color of a solution changes from colorless to orange. Identify the sodium salt and explain what happened, what causes the color change. This part is actually related to a periodic table. So we'll complete this in a periodic table. Because still the periodic table is left, we did not complete that. So there in a periodic table, I'll explain how to answer this question. So this was question 1 from electrochemistry.